morning, ladies and gentlemen. Please stand for the arrival of His Excellency the President, Charles Savrin. And we will now have the first stanza of the national anthem sung by Michael Henderson.
Isle of beauty, isle of splendor, isle to all so sweet and fair. All must surely gaze in wonder at thy gifts so rich and rare. Rivers, valleys, hills, and mountains, all these gifts we do extol. Healthy and so like all fountains, giving share that warms the soul.
Kindly remain standing as we invite Father Franklin Cuffey to lead us with the opening prayer. Father Cuffey.
White river, so divine, to our ancestors, you're a shrine. Water from the heavens, fire from the earth, volcanic eruption gave you birth. Earth, air, fire, water, elements combine, like the star of rivers, you shine. White river, so divine, to our ancestors, you're a shrine. People come from near and far for the healing of your volcanic sulfur, healing for ailments of the skin with a refreshing swim. You also heal within. World's second largest boiling lake, your sus. Down through the hills, you chart a course to the beautiful Point Mulat Bay. In song we express your praise today. White river, so divine.
We stand before you, Holy Spirit, as we gather together in your name, with you alone to guide us. Make yourself at home in our hearts. Teach us the way we must go and how we are to pursue it. We are weak and sinful. Do not let us promote disorder. Do not let ignorance lead us down the wrong path. No partiality influence our actions. Let us find in you our unity, so that we may journey together to eternal life and not stray from the truth and what is right. We ask you to bless our gathering this morning. Bless our authors, our artists, our designers. Bless in a special way this book we're about to present to you. Like our river, we want to thank you for the gifts you have blessed us with. And we ask your blessing on us this morning as we pray in the words Jesus taught us. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, Thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory, forever and ever. Amen. Almighty God bless us as we continue our gathering this morning. We'll get the holy water later. I was going for it in the can. Somebody said the president is coming. You have to be here before the president. So we'll do the sprinkling later.
Thank you very much, Father Coffey. Please be seated. Good morning and welcome. Let me recognize His Excellency the President of Dominica, Mr. Charles Savrin, the Honorable Minister for Culture, Youth, Sports and Community Development, the Honorable Greta Roberts, the Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Culture, Youth, Sports and Community Development, Mr. Lucien Blackmore, the Acting Chief Cultural Officer, Ulson Matthew, other government officials, Father Coffey, Michael Henderson, Dr. Lennox Honeychurch, Ophelia, Pearl Christian, Aileen Burton, Arlington James, members of the National Emblems Committee, members of the Comité Poétique Creole, KEC, Miss Dominica, Adicia Burton, and all the media houses present. Ladies and gentlemen, good morning again and welcome to this, the official launch of the revised version of the Symbols of Nationhood publication. The first version was produced and published in 1988, 35 years ago. The present National Emblems Committee decided that it was time to update and revise the first edition and to produce a new version of the booklet. And this new version is what we are launching today. So we give God thanks and praise for bringing us to this special moment. I would now like to call on the Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Culture, Youth, Sports and Community Development, Mr. Lucien Blackmore, to deliver the welcome remarks. Mr. Blackmore.
Thank you very much, Mr. Lawrence. Let me first of all recognize His Excellency Charles Savrin, President of the Commonwealth of Dominica, Honorable Greta Roberts, the Minister responsible for Culture, Youth, Sports, and Community Development, Mr. Ulson Matthew, the Chief Cultural Officer, Mr. Raymond Lawrence, the Chairman of the National Emblems Committee, Ms. Burton, our National Queen, all the members of the National Emblems Committee, Reverend Father Coffey, Ms. Del Sol, Miss Joyce Del Sol or Miss Michael Henderson, other invited guests, members of the media, viewers and listeners, ladies and gentlemen, a very blessed morning to everyone. It's indeed an honor and considered privilege to welcome you on behalf of the Ministry of Culture, Youth, Sports and Community Development, and in particular, the National Emblems Committee, to this official launch for Symbols of Nationhood booklet. The Symbol of Nationhood booklet contains the sovereign marks and representation of the Democratic Republic of the Commonwealth of Dominica, namely in the form of the coat of arms, the national flag, the national anthem, which by the way we affectionately call Isle of Beauty, national flower, the national bird, our national pledge, and of course, the President ensign, national dish, and our national prayer. The publication of the second edition of the initial publication of the 1998 version done by Sir Clarence Signoret, the former President of Dominica, as a mark of our 10th anniversary of our political independence is in fact very fitting and timing today. The symbol of our nationhood booklet, second edition, clearly a renaissance of the profound patriotism, honor, respect, and unwavering love for country and the sovereign emblems and institution which it uniquely identified as a reverent and unified people. Let this purposefully serve as a time for reflection and certainly introspection on every aspect of our national emblems and public institutions and what they stand for and means to us as national of the blessed land Dominica. It was very fitting to hear Ms. Nickel refer to the first stanza, and I really want to reflect in a very tangible way on the first verse, which says, Isle of beauty, isle of splendor, isle to all, so sweet and fair. Almost surely gaze in wonder. And to me, that gaze in wonder, it connotes what we affectionately call now a wow thing. All these gifts we do extol. Healthy lands, and like all fountains, giving cheer that warmed the soul. That in itself a very reverent prayer. And it is really a moment for us this week, and today more significantly, to really reflect on this national significance. And for us, when we talk about symbols, I know people like to think of icons and artistic work. But let us not confuse the symbols of nationhood with anything that is artistic or anything elsewhere. It's really supposed to be reverent, and it's really something to be honored. And I really want to take time off to say that it is a moment for us to ensure that the second edition finds itself in all our schools, first and foremost our primary schools, and of course our secondary schools. And it's very timely and fitting for us to have the media with us today. Welcome on board. We really, really accept and honor and appreciate the collaboration with you, because I really think that we have reached a stage where we really need to give, as I said, real honor to what those symbols stand for. And it's not just symbols, but it's a whole question of institution. What makes us a country? What makes us a sovereign state? And those symbols really signify the glue that binds us together. First and foremost, as a people. So even when we refer to country, we do not just refer to country as the land or geographical space, but we refer to what it contains. And as our national anthem says to us, healthy lands, and like all fountains. And again, I said that it is very fitting that we have the media, because sometimes I get into a moment of shock when the national anthem is playing, and you sometimes see cameramen and audio media people all over the place. Anytime you hear the song, not even the lyrics, anytime you hear the song, everything else ceases to exist. And you instantaneously or instinctively stand at attention. So I really want to ensure that we really take this period, as I said a while ago, for introspection, for what this thing signifies, because we have to understand what makes us a people, what binds us together, and what gives us a true identity. Those things stand for our identity. Wherever we are in the world, when you see that flag, we know it symbolizes what Dominica stands for. And so we have to really respect those things, and we really put it in context as well. What makes us, what really does nationhood stand for? What are the important or the significant factors that makes this a nation unified and strong? And then just three of them we can pay attention to. One, political stability. But remember I said earlier on that we are a democratic republic. So the political stability is an absolute necessity. that which gives us the important factors, a nation where we can stand for things of our interest, what is our rights, what's our privileges, and what belongs to us. Simple thing again as our territorial waters. The other aspect again, the significant aspect, the factors that makes us recognize our strong nation is our economic development. And the other one, it is last, but it should be first, but last not least, is what we refer to as social cohesion. What binds us together, what unifies us, what gives us that sense of belonging, that sense of identity. So we have to understand this is what the symbols stand for, and it's really a moment for all of us to understand that we should take time off during this period and really acquaint ourselves, refamiliarize ourselves. And for me, it's not too long ago. I mean, it would feel like yesterday. I recall every time that we went into independence celebration, I always recall that November 3rd, 1978. And the sense of dignity that I felt even as a schoolboy, that here comes the birth of a land called Dominica. So we cannot take this thing for granted, and it's really a period for us to really share and reflect, and we really want to call on to the media to help us to really inform and educate the public. So it's a welcome collaboration, and I really want to thank the National Emblems Committee for being part of the process in ensuring that we as a country understand the true meaning, significance, and value of our symbols and institutions of our nationality. Again, I want to say a special welcome to every one of you, and I do wish we have a very successful and impactful media launch. Thank you very much.
And thank you very much, Mr. Blackmore, the Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Culture, Youth, Sports, and Community Development. And thank you for taking the time to underscore the importance and significance of our national emblems in Dominica. And now it gives me pleasure to invite to the microphone the Acting Chief Cultural Officer, Mr. Earlson Matthew, to deliver some remarks. Mr. Matthew.
Thank you very much, Mr. Lawrence. His Excellency, the President Charles Savrin, Honorable Greta Roberts, Minister for Culture, Youth, Sports, and Community Development, other honorable members of Cabinet, Mr. Lucian Blackmore, Permanent Secretary of the Ministry of Culture, Youth, Sports, and Community Development, Mr. Raymond Lawrence, Chairman of the National Emblems Committee, other members of the National Emblems Committee, Father Franklin Coffey, Ms. Michael Henderson, other invited guests, members of the media, viewers, listeners, ladies and gentlemen, good morning, or pleasant good morning, should I say, to everyone. And we're taking it off the bat. I want to start by expressing the importance of initiatives such as these. National emblems are symbols of nationhood and the inner workings of our pride in self and country. So while ceremonies like these won't go viral, I'm hoping that we can all appreciate the significance of our national emblems and their relevance to our culture and heritage. The Cultural Division continues to play its role in that regard, and we will continue to throw our support behind initiatives such as these. However, our limited resources permit. I want to express gratitude to Mr. Lawrence and the National Emblems Committee for the work that you continue to do. Too often we lament on how things used to be after the fact, but fail to give the necessary support when it is most needed. So round of applause to the Emblems Committee, please. Let me reiterate that the Cultural Division will continue to collaborate with the National Emblems Committee, with KEC, with any institution, organization, or entity that is in line with our agenda, and that is the preservation, promotion, and development of our culture and heritage. With that said, the The National Emblems Week forms part of the Independence season and will run from the 16th to the 20th of October. Flag Day will be celebrated on the 16th, and that will be celebrated island-wide. All schools, private business establishments, and government offices are encouraged to show patriotism and represent your flag in whatever way, shape, or form possible. Don't forget to post or share your videos so we can raise awareness of what is going on that day. The Cultural Division and Independence Committee will embark on a journey that will take us to the south and southwest of the island. Most time, everything starts centrally in the capital and then we head north. This time around, we want to show the schools and communities of the south and southwest that you are very much in the loop. We will start at the Botanical Gardens with displays from schools in the Roseau area and then head south. So, Newtown, Point Michel, Soufrière, Scottshead, Bellevue, Grand Bay, Tetmon, Bagatelle. Look out for the team on that day. And we don't mention National Flag Day without acknowledging the work of the late Dr. Alwyn Booley. We will continue to honor his contributions just as we did when he was right here with us. You could also look out for other publications and productions by the Cultural Division for the remainder of the National Emblems Week. I'd also like to take this opportunity to invite all present to the official opening ceremony for Independence 2023 under the theme Anu Celebrate. This will take place at the Tisa Grounds at Maho tomorrow afternoon at 5 p.m. But even before that, the Maho Buyola Pokabit will be warming up the community. And then we'll take the action up to the playing field, officially beginning at 5 p.m. So make it a family experience tomorrow afternoon, and we hope to see you there. Let me once again congratulate the National Emblems Committee, and we hope to see many more similar publications in the future. Thank you.
And thank you very much, Ilson. Thank you very much for expressing your support on behalf of the Cultural Division for the continued promotion of our emblems in Dominica and for the efforts of the National Emblems Committee in producing the second edition of the Symbols of Nationhood. And now we want to invite the Honorable Minister for Culture, Youth, Sports and Community Development, Honorable
Good morning. Okay. Let me recognize, of course, the presence of His Excellency, the President, Charles Savrin, Mr. Lucien Blackmore, Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Sports, Culture, Youth, and Community Development, Mr. Erson Matthew, the Chief Cultural Officer, Raymond Lawrence, our Chairman of the National Emblems Committee, members of the National Emblems Committee, Father Franklin Coffey, Ms. Michelle Henderson, other invited guests, members of the media, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. I really expected to come here this morning to see a packed place. For an event such as this, I just wanted to see people. People who are so happy that we have something to present, symbols of nationhood. And I want to use this opportunity, oh, Carnival Queen, I'm so sorry. I want to use this opportunity to sincerely apologize for the absence of my cabinet colleagues. To be honest with you, I thought, Honorable His Excellency, I thought the ceremony began at 11. Whilst the program may have said 10, I was informed it was 11. And I think the same thing happened with my colleagues. I hope they don't come here at 11 expecting another ceremony. So I do want to apologize on their behalf. All the same, we can all celebrate no matter how small, because we have something to celebrate this morning. So I am so pleased to be part of this event and to share the occasion with the President of Dominica, His Excellency Charles Savrin, and of course your wife, Mrs. Savrin, who has served our nation with such grace and distinction. I am also proud and happy to know that I am the last minister that you're going to be with before you exit office. You know, this is a great honor for me. So I'm going to keep this and write it in my little annals of history. Mr. President, please allow me this opportunity to register my own words of gratitude to you for your years of distinguished service to the people of Dominica. You are gentlemen of great stature. You exemplified class and professionalism in the office of President. We thank you for your profound contribution to our country and our people, and for making the time to be here with us this morning for this wonderful ceremony. So thank you so much. I am indeed proud to participate in what I believe is a significant event, the launch of the revised version of the Symbols of Nationhood, which was first published in 1988. I say significant because this small but valuable booklet is another meaningful step towards the preservation of our culture and heritage. National symbols are not meant to be merely drawings on paper or depictions of an idea or concept. They are in fact powerful symbols of nationhood, intended to ground the people in the knowledge of their values, heritage, and history. They serve as a springboard for nation building by inculcating from the earliest ages a deep sense of patriotism and pride, just being Dominican. Our national symbols form the very core of a national character. Indeed, emblems help to promote national pride and dignity. They foster a greater sense of belonging and strengthen our sense of national identity. This booklet, therefore, is a practical and tangible way of expanding the knowledge of our national symbols among the general populace. Within the education system, it will prove especially useful to provide our students and youth with a greater understanding and appreciation of the significance of our national symbols and the protocols which surround the use and application of these emblems. Because our emblems symbolize who we are as a people, it is essential that we continue to educate and sensitize the public through the media, in our classrooms, and through various platforms on the relevance and true meaning of our national emblems, and to inculcate, especially into our younger generation, a culture of patriotism and nationalism. We want our people to be more civic-minded, aware of the responsibilities to self and country and their place in the development of Dominica. As a former teacher and school principal myself, I am an advocate for holistic education. I think that in addition to our focus on academics, we need to reintroduce and prioritize the study of civics at all levels to ensure a greater appreciation of our heritage and culture, our values and traditions, and also our national symbols, which signify our pride as a people and identify us, as a special nation under God. This publication will certainly help with these goals and enhance our knowledge and appreciation of our national emblems, their meanings, and history. For example, one of our many symbols is our national motto, Après bon Dieu, c'est la terre. This motto is very meaningful and indicates that to us, God is the ultimate being. Our belief is that after God is the earth. As a Christian nation, it is important that we remain true to this national motto as we traverse the many challenges and triumphs that have brought us to this point in our history and development. This year we observe 45 years of independence, and I am sure this booklet will add to our celebrations of this important milestone in our journey as a nation. Dominicans are a proud and patriotic people. We take pride in our country, and celebrating its heritage is of utmost importance to us. I believe the relaunch of this booklet will certainly enhance our national pride and add to our efforts to preserve and promote the cultural traditions and heritage of our country. I wish to congratulate the chairman and members of the National Emblems Committee for your dedicated and persistent work in producing this booklet. I am very impressed with your efforts, and on behalf of my ministry, Honorable George, and myself, I wish to express my deepest gratitude. Now, Mr. Matthew asked for a round of applause, but I would like the members of the Emblems Committee to stand and take a bow, because I think today is your day in producing such a wonderful booklet. So let us turn back and see who these great people are. Well, you see, we are so accustomed of applauding that we forgot to bow. So thank you so much. You may sit. Thanks. I look forward to more of these efforts from your group and other cultural organizations to promote our heritage and culture through such structured programs and initiatives. As Dominicans, we all have a responsibility to pass on the knowledge of Dominica's history to those who come after us. So on this note, may God bless and continue to bless your efforts. And I want to thank all of you and congratulate all of us on such a commendable achievement. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Honorable Minister for Culture, Youth, Sports and Community Development, for your very encouraging words and words of appreciation for the efforts in producing the second edition of the book. And then we also bear in mind the first committee, the Emblems Committee, which produced the first version in 1988. Dr. Honeychurch was a member of that committee as well, and Mr. Clarence Signoret was the chairman of that committee that produced the first booklet. So now we've come to the official launch of the National Emblems booklet entitled The Symbols of Nationhood. The cover of the book is on the screen here. And this is indeed a special occasion because, as we all know, and as has been emphasized by previous speakers, our national emblems symbolically represent our nation, and they are official emblems or seals which have been identified and approved by a government for use by a nation as special symbols of that nation. National emblems are very important, very significant in the lives of any country and its people. And we are proud of our emblems because they are symbols of our identity as a people and a nation. In addition, our emblems are a source of pride, hope, and aspiration, and are also a source of inspiration to any nation and its people. I want to quote the well-known line of the late Marcus Garvey, who said that a people without knowledge of their past history, origin, and culture is like a tree without roots. And culture is like a tree in the sense that the roots represent our history, our traditional knowledge and expressions, and the roots of our culture. And the trunk, stems, branches, and fruits represent how we have evolved as a people and a nation, and they represent all the various expressions of our culture, both traditional and contemporary. So our national emblems form a vital part of our roots, our history, and our present-day culture. In this official launch of the book, I do not intend to give all the details of our emblems, as I think we are all familiar with our emblems. Instead, what I will attempt to do is just give a brief overview of the contents of the booklet. So the booklet starts off with official messages from His Excellency the President, Mr. Charles Savrin, from the Honorable Minister for Culture, Youth, Sports and Community Development, Honorable Greta Roberts, and a message from myself as Chairman of the National Emblems Committee. The messages are followed by an article on the office of the President, including the symbolism of the office, the functions of the President, and also the rules of protocol which pertain to the President, his duties, and public functions. Then there are short articles providing details on the legislative branch of government, the executive branch, and the judiciary. Next in the booklet is a feature on the present coat of arms of Dominica, our national motto, and also an historical article of the colonial coat of arms which was used when Dominica was still a colony of Britain. With regard to the coat of arms and the motto, one will notice that the spelling of the motto, Appuie bon Dieu c'est la terre, is in keeping with the proper spelling of the Creole expression. The Comité pour Études Creole provided the proper Creole spelling, which Cabinet approved last year. Following the coat of arms, there is a feature on Dominica's national flag with an illustration of the flag with its proper colors, and also the etiquette and protocol associated with the use of our national flag. Next in the booklet, there is an article on the national anthem with its words and music and protocols as they refer to the national anthem. There are also features on the anthem's music composer, L.M. Christian, who was the uncle of course, Pearl Christian, who is here with us this morning, and the lyricist of the anthem, W.O.M. Pond. Following the national anthem, the national flower is featured, what we refer to as the Bois Caraïbe, known botanically as Poitia carinalis, formerly known as Sabinia carinalis. It was officially declared Dominica's national flower in 1978. After the article on the national flower, we have the national bird, which is the Cicero parrot, the largest of the Amazona parrots and endemic to Dominica. The name Cicero is a Kalinago name for the bird. After the national bird in the Emblems book, there is an article on the President's ensign, which is the President's personal flag. The President's ensign incorporates the coat of arms on a forest green background. Next in the booklet, we have the national dish, which is Callaloo. Callaloo was adopted by the government of Dominica as our national dish on September the 10th, 2013, 10 years ago. In the selection of the national dish, 4 surveys were carried out with restaurant owners, schools, a simulcast involving 3 of our main radio stations, and an online survey which was carried out with the assistance of Dominica News Online. In all the surveys, a wide range of Dominican dishes were presented, and persons were asked to make a selection for the national dish. And in all 4 surveys, Callaloo emerged as the dish of choice among Dominicans for the national dish. It's important to note that crab callaloo is a traditional dish of the Kalinago people as well, dating back hundreds of years. The articles which follow the national dish are the national pledge and the national prayer. The national prayer is an official prayer adopted by the government of Dominica. It is a type of responsorial psalm which gives thanks, which petitions, and gives glory and honor to the Almighty Father. The booklet comes to its conclusion with articles on the National Emblems Act of 1978, the attendance of the President and ministers at functions, the public seal, the mace of the House of Assembly, and the national honors for meritorious service. Of course, our highest national award in Dominica is the Dominica Award of Honor, followed by the Cicero Award, the Meritorious Service Award, the Services Medal of Honor, and the Long Service Medal. One will find the list of the members of the Emblems Committee at the end of the booklet. Dr. Lennox Honeychurch, who was involved in producing the first edition, assisted with the editing of this booklet, and so too did Arlington James, and Mr. Damian Bellot, a member of the Emblems Committee, did the layout of the booklet, and to them we are very grateful for their assistance, and of course the members of the National Emblems Committee. So ladies and gentlemen, it gives me great pleasure as chairman of the National Emblems Committee to officially launch the revised version of the Symbols of Nationhood this morning. I hope that we can add this booklet to our various collections of publications in our libraries, our homes, offices, and schools. So the National Emblems Committee, in collaboration with the Ministry of Culture, Youth, Sports, and Community Development, is proud to officially launch here this morning this revised version of the booklet entitled The Symbols of Nationhood. And now we will present some booklets. And I want to invite Ms. Donnell Blackmore to assist me with this. Ms. Blackmore is the President's Secretary, and she's also Deputy Chairperson of the National Emblems Committee. So we would like to present our first booklet to His Excellency the President, Mr. Charles Savre, and being presented to you by your secretary. We invite the Minister for Culture, Youth, Sports, and Community Development, the Honorable Greta Roberts. We invite the Parliamentary Secretary, Ms. Fenella Wenham, to also receive a booklet. The Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Culture, Youth, Sports, and Community Development, presented to you by your sister. The Acting Chief Cultural Officer, Wilson Matthew. Father Franklin Cuffey would like to invite you as well to receive a copy of the book. Michael Henderson, we are inviting you as well to receive a copy of the booklet. Dr. Lennox Honeychurch would like to invite you to receive a copy of the book. Arlington James would like to invite you up as well to receive a copy of the book. Pearl Christian, we would also like to invite you up to receive a copy of the book. Ophelia Marie would like to invite you up as well. Ophelia is a member of the National Emblems Committee as well. Aileen Burton would also like to invite you as well to receive a copy of the book. Damien Bellot, who did all the fantastic work, graphics and artwork. And he's also a member of the National Emblems Committee. And we also want to present a copy to the members of the media who are here. The Government Information Service, Kyrie FM, DBS Radio, which other media houses are represented here? Okay, so we have presented to all the media houses present. So thank you very much.
I'm having trouble hearing you.
Honors for us, Ms. Blackmore, thank you. And as you can see, we have a number of other copies that we'll be distributing to government offices and, private sector. And the plan is, in the not too distant future, that we print another set of booklets that we can distribute to the schools and the libraries and other institutions across the country. So I guess it will be an ongoing process where we keep reprinting as the need arises, because we'd like it distributed as far and wide as possible. Okay, so now we have a bit of entertainment, and I mean, we've been graced with the presence here of Michael Henderson. And Michael, it's so good to have you here. You're such a singing sensation, represented Dominica so very well at so many different events, not just locally, but regionally, internationally as well. And even winning the CARICOM Song Contest among all the CARICOM countries, you emerged as the winner. That in itself is a major achievement and accomplishment, so we congratulate you for that, Michael. So Michael is going to do a song for us. Why not? It's Independence time, right? Okay.
Good morning, everyone. Do join me in singing this ode to the lovely island of Dominica. I want to thank you for having me. It's okay? Yeah. Yeah, it's okay. It's a very long intro, that's why I chose to speak in there. And it's an absolute honor to be here and be part of this celebration. So I hope you guys are ready for the independence season. I know I am. Can I have a little more volume on the music? As you can see, everybody was like, is it already Creole Friday? But I'm a Creole lady. There we go. And I love beauty, I love splendor, but with grace and natural treasure. En pays belle jusqu'à lever, dans la tête très mauvaise fille. Nous voyons mes esclavages, ça va rien en Angleterre, mais tout ça nous a souffert, préparez-nous pour notre malheur, fait comme nous indépendants, après ces nations nous vivons, nous merci Dieu qu'on nous célèbre, comme des jeunes nous libérer. Yeah, sing with me. Yeah, dis-moi, merci Dieu pays nous vivons, nous gagnons liberté Dominique vivant, célébrer que notre secteur nous vivons, dis-moi, merci Dieu Dominique vivant. Et combien d'années qui passent, moi Dominique a gagné, les poètes Dominique avancé, actuellement développement, moi gardé, nous contents, c'est pour ça nous gars, les conseils voyez, nous c'est ça comme moi, Philippe excitant, merci bon Dieu tous les jours, c'est vous qui sauvez nous, qui faites en bénéfice. Let me see put your hands together for Dominica. We've seen hard times and trials of plenty, but by God's grace our vials are not empty. C'est pour nous merci Dieu actuellement, on le fait parce que nous vivons. Et ben nous force pour travail, et ben nous patience pour être, si nous pouvons faire manœuvre là, pour voir qu'à nous ça enjambe, à nous mettre mains ensemble, pour repérer à nous payer, comme merci Dieu, faut pas l'oublier, comme les jeunes nous libérer. Yeah, sing along. Yeah, dis-moi, merci Dieu, pays nous vivons, nous gagnons liberté Dominique vivant, célébrer que notre secteur nous vivons, dis-moi, merci Dieu Dominique vivant. One chat in English just to respect those who can't overstand the patois dialect. We can tell you is never forget the one who rewards all the struggle and sweat, hand in hand into the next millennium. All of my people getting knowledge and wisdom. 21 years we are move and shine. We want to continue to build this island. Viva Domin, I Domin, Viva Domin, I Domin, Viva Domin, I Domin, Viva Domin. One more time. Yeah. Dis-moi, merci Dieu, pays nous vivons. Nous gagnons liberté Dominique vivant. Célébrer que notre secteur nous vivons. Dis-moi, merci Dieu Dominique vivant. Sing with me. I Dominique, viva Dominique, I Dominique, viva Dominique, I Dominique, viva Dominique, I Dominique, viva Dominique, I Dominique, viva Dominique. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mikkel. Certainly adding a lot of spice and energy to the event this morning. Thank you, and so well done. So we've come to the end of the event. I'll just wind up with a vote of thanks. So as we had mentioned earlier, the first version of the booklet was produced in 1988, and we express our gratitude to the then chairman and the committee at the time. And the new and revised edition took several years of updating and editing before its completion. And as chairman of the Emblems Committee, I wish to express my thanks to all the members of the present committee. They are the President Secretary, Ms. Donnell Blackmore, who is also Deputy Chair, Assistant Secretary in the Ministry of Culture, Youth, Sports and Community Development, Mrs. Yolanda Maxim John, the Director of Forestry, Mr. Minjinton Burton, the Chief Education Officer, Dr. Jeffrey Blaise, the Chief Protocol Officer, Ms. Ezra Thomas, Ophelia Marie, and Mr. Damian Bellot. I also wish to thank His Excellency, the President, Charles Savre, for contributing a message for the booklet and also for taking the time to help us edit sections of the book dealing with the office of the President and the protocols surrounding the office. Mr. Savre, thank you very much. We also understand that this may be your last official working day as President of Dominica, so I want to take the opportunity as well to thank you for serving so well in the highest office of the land. And we wish you continued success in whatever you intend to do from now on. And we also wish yourself, your wife, and children an abundance of good health. The Emblems Committee also very grateful to Dr. Lennox Honeychurch, as I mentioned earlier, for assisting with the editing. Also Arlington James and Damian Bellot for his creativity and sustained work with the layout of the book. We're grateful as well to the Comité Poétique Creole for the role that they played in the proper Creole spelling of our national motto, Apres bon Dieu c'est la terre. Cabinet approved the proper Creole spelling of the motto last year, so we thank the members of KEC for their assistance. We want to thank as well the Ministry of Culture, Youth, Sports and Community Development for your support. The Emblems Committee falls under this ministry, so we thank the ministry especially with making a way to get the booklet printed and helping with the planning and staging of this event. So special thanks to the Honorable Minister for Culture, Greta Roberts, the Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Culture, Mr. Lucien Blackmore, and the Assistant Secretary in the same ministry, Mrs. Yolanda Maxim John, and also Ms. Bell, the Secretary to the PS, for all your kind assistance. And special thanks to Mr. Neil Shillingford of Freestyle Inc. and Mr. Geoffrey Guy of the Dominica Business Center for getting the booklet printed for us. We want to thank again His Excellency the President and your office for allowing us use of the State House Conference Center. And of course, special thanks to the media who are present today. We realize that you play a very vital role in the promotion of publications like this one, and we thank you for helping to get the word out that the book has been launched and will now be available to the general public. Thank you, Father Cuffey. Thank you, Michaela Henderson. Thank you, the Honorable Minister and Wilson Matthew, for your remarks. I want to thank all of you who have come here today. And of course, we thank God, without whom this would not have been possible. So our hope as the committee is that this new version of the Emblems book will serve as a resource document to many, including schools and educational institutions in general, and also within government and private sectors, within the media, and also as a resource tool to the public at large, both here and overseas. So thank you very much, everyone. It's a bright and beautiful day today. We thank God for that. So we ask you to continue to enjoy the day. So we also have some refreshments as well, so you don't have to run off right away. I understand the President has a function, so maybe he has to leave right away. So could we kindly stand and allow His Excellency, the President, to take his leave, and then we will. And thank you very much, Mr. Savre. We thank you for serving as President for so many years. Can we give the president a round of applause? This function today is one of his last official functions as president of Dominica, so I think that is meaningful as well. And as we said, we have some refreshments, so please stay and enjoy. Thank you very much, everyone. Have a good day.